The PlayStation 1 is definitely my favorite console of all time. Maybe PS2, which I think, interestingly enough, are still the highest selling consoles of all time. And it's kind of like Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller. An album will never beat the sales of Thriller, ever. A full album.
That's crazy.
Because everyone puts out singles nowadays, and it's calculated differently. Thriller's still number one.
Wow, yeah, it's crazy because I never I knew a little bit about the PlayStation because I had a friend who had it, and sometimes we would get it wasn't a friend who lived close. It was like there was some distance, so it's not like we just went over to the next house or whatever. It was more like on occasion we would play these games, and I think we played the first Resident Evil on that. We played Battle Arena Toshinden 2. I think we played Twisted Metal.
Nice.
Yeah, Twisted Metal's a classic.
Yeah.
That was the first game I ever got for the system.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We played the Alien game on it. Alien Trilogy, I think. Or,
yeah. That had good music to it. It had really good music.
And you take the CD and you put it in your CD player and you could actually play
really?
the
music.
Yeah, it's like there was actually music on the game, on the CD. I used to do that and just record it onto a cassette and I'd use it in my movies as a kid. So I would film these backyard horror movies and I would use the music from Alien Trilogy. There was a version of Doom on PlayStation.
The Final Doom.
Was it Final Doom?
Yeah.
Yeah, they also had regular Doom in the long box too.
Yeah. Oh, did they?
Yeah, that was the one where it's him with the gun shooting through a demon on the front of it.
But I didn't get a PlayStation because well, first of all, I didn't expect it to be as good because Sony was an electronics company that did, here's the thing.
Boom boxes and shit.
Yeah,
TVs.
I thought TVs. I guess they did. Did they do movies then, or did they have a movie studio? Or
yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Well, I don't think it was called Sony. I think it was I think Touchstone might have been Sony or something like that.
I know they bought Columbia. Yeah,
okay.
Columbia.
Yeah, I forget when that started.
No, I thought that was weird as shit too. When my friend said, "Oh, I have a Sony PlayStation," and I was like, "Sony, because the radios?"
Because before that, Panasonic put out a console. We know what that one was, right?
Yeah,
the
was it the CD? Yeah, the CDI or whatever.
Oh, the 3DO.
Oh, 3DO. Never mind. Yeah, no, that's CDI was Philips. That's right. Yeah,
Philips CDI, which I didn't know about at the time, but the Panasonic 3DO I just knew didn't take off.
Yeah.
And I thought the Sony PlayStation would be exactly the same. I even thought it was a dumb name. I'm like, the PlayStation? It's a station
weird.
you play at? That's just so juvenile. It's just such a,
the PlayStation.
Childish idea. The PlayStation.
Yeah, play is a kind of weird word. When you're trying to be edgy or something like that, play is just...
Yeah.
It's kind of...
Although, lots of credit for them numbering their systems. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and so on.
The state of play is that their thing.
Yeah. So, basically, I was waiting for the Nintendo Ultra 64. That's what it was called at the time. And there was in Nintendo Power, they had the picture of it with it had, I recall it having some kind of Saturn ring kind of logo. I forget. Anyway, the Ultra 64, that was all I was talking about. And then it got delayed again and again and again. Eventually it was the Nintendo 64 with the blocky N logo.
You
just unlocked.
I think I'm wearing a Nintendo 64
you
shirt.
are?
Yeah,
okay.
I actually am.
You just unlocked a memory. Remember in middle school and high school?
Memory unlocked.
They had a TV in the room, in the corner.
Yeah.
And they would pump in some sort of
Channel 1.
Channel 1. Yeah,
Okay.
they show you, it was an edgy, almost G4, telling you about the news, and they played commercials on it. And that's the first time I saw an N64 commercial.
Okay.
And it was the one, the holiday one, where they show, Shadow of the Empire.
It was Jingle Bells, Christmas Smells,
might have been that
where
one,
those kids don't get the shit they want or whatever.
It showed that. It showed Mario Kart. It showed Mario 64, and I was like, what the hell is that? At the time I already had a PlayStation, but I was like, holy crap, and all the kids were fawning over it. And me, not having friends in middle school, I was like, I don't really care about 4 people. And I think I made a better decision on PlayStation because those franchises are still around, games like Metal Gear, Resident Evil, more adult stuff. Much like watching horror movies when you were younger. That was kind of like having a PlayStation. They weren't, I thought the N64 had a lot of more baby games, if you want to call them that.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that.
Except for
GoldenEye. By the time, that was going to come out, it was I think 94. It was originally the first time there was a release date of any kind for it. And the big game that was going to be on it was Killer Instinct from the arcade. It was in the arcade, and it even said, the Ultra 64 coming soon. And when I saw it in the arcade, I was like, holy shit, this game's amazing. I can't wait to play this at home. And this is going to be the badass Nintendo console, right? The games are going to be a little more adult now. And, Killer Instinct, it's violent, there's blood, and there's fatalities. It's kind of like their version of Mortal Kombat. So Killer Instinct was like 94 in the arcade. And then I think 95 was PlayStation. You have to fact check me on this.
I think I can't remember. It's such a weird time because
it was 95. I'm pretty sure I got mine on launch.
Yeah.
One of the only consoles.
And I'm not, and this is, North America. We're not talking like, because it always launches at different times. We're not,
Yeah.
But I think it was 95 or it might have been late 94. Like it might have been like Christmas 94 or something like that.
But whatever it was after that. And I was waiting. I was just waiting for the Ultra 64. And then, by the time it came out, it was like 96. So going from 94 to 96, that's a gap. Like being in high school at that time, that takes or was I in high school? Because I went to a special ed school. So I transitioned into a normal high school, like in my junior year. Or no, in the middle of my sophomore year. It was confusing. I didn't even know what I was at the time. People would ask me, like, oh, are you a sophomore? Or like, what are you? I'm like, what's that? I don't know. Like, are you freshman? Like, I'm like, what do you call me, fresh? Like, I don't know what's like. I know
Are you freshman?
Are you freshman?
Yeah. So anyway, during that time period, it like that's 2 years is a lot. And by the time the Nintendo 64 came out, there was no Killer Instinct. It was they put out Killer Instinct Gold, which was Killer Instinct 2 in the arcade.
It's not quite even the same. It's not like a 1-to-1.
It is, but I like the first one better. There was something edgy about it and fresh when it first came out. And I don't think the second one, even though it was good, it didn't capture that excitement that I had. And then the launch game was like Mario 64. And I'm like, okay, this is cool playing Mario in 3 dimensions now. Running in a circle was kind of cool. But I was like, it's cartoony and it's still very kid oriented. And I wanted to take that step into something badass. And so what I should have got was the PlayStation. And I didn't. And there I was. I dug my hole. I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like I still got to play Killer Instinct Gold. I still got to.
You had like GoldenEye and stuff. Like there was its own game.
Last Core.
Yeah. I mean,
Glover.
And then Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time came out a little bit later. It wasn't. I don't think it was like a launch.
That was
99, and that's still like people.
Right?
That's one of the best games people always say of all time. Pretty much. It's I'm going to be honest. Like I'm not a big Zelda guy. I like watching other people play it.
Yeah, me neither.
But
I
I've never
Link to the
beaten
Past
one.
Better.
Yeah.